big day today. Big announcement. I don't know if you guys are as excited as I am, but today is Monday, the 12th. We got the confirmation. The official trailer for Superman is dropping on Wednesday.
Wednesday.
That's right. You put
Big
uh-oh
hump
in
day.
the Discord. What was that all about, Marvin?
That's a good uh-oh. You don't know the difference?
Oh, no, I don't. Because you've been kind of like, you're
That's
teetering on the
weird.
edge of hate with this movie. I don't know. I could feel it. I could feel it a
Nah.
little bit. Okay. All right. Just making sure.
No hate.
Okay. You seem maybe a little skepticism, maybe?
Nah, I mean, I trust James Gunn.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you trust me.
I think he'll come
I'll
through.
take it. All right. Yeah. It's so much funny fucking commentary, but you know where that's coming from. Yeah, no, everybody's been waiting. Like, when are they going to release the official trailer? And now we're getting it. And they're doing it in style. They're giving this movie the Barbie treatment, which is appropriate and what should be done. Like,
Right.
I knew they were going to do the marketing campaign. I think we had talked about it like several months ago that they're calling it the Summer of Superman and all this stuff. But they're going fucking ham. This motherfucker's on basketball players are making sneakers that are Superman branded.
Oh, really? That's funny.
He's on fucking Dairy Queen products. Milkbone dog treats are doing Superman
that's smart.
spots.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Full marketing budget.
Oh,
That's what that gets you.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's like we've talked about, right? Like, I don't think it's, again, like something that is hyperbole to say, like, this could be make or break for Warner Brothers, you know?
Well, when you expect it to be a $1 billion IP,
right,
you feel like you can throw a few $100 million around to get people motivated to actually make it a $1 billion IP. So, yeah.
It seems like they're throwing literally like the kitchen sink at this movie, which is good. The GOAT is back in the spotlight. Yeah, of course. Yeah, they should. This is how these movies should be treated. I mean, you know, it gets a little bit much, but sometimes, like this is what, because I've seen some comments of like, how many fucking trailers are we getting? And it's like, well, we've got a teaser if you want to be technical, and like a sneak peek, which was just an extended teaser, and now we're getting the official trailer. Like, who cares? This is how movies are marketed. Like, what do you?
Yeah.
The teaser doesn't tell you anything about the movie. The trailer will.
Right.
It'll give you some synopsis and story, and
you can't just like drop a movie and be like, hey, everybody go see it. Like, you got to build hype. That's how it works.
I mean, you can.
I mean, you could.
It's been done, and it's been done well before, but
yeah, that's fair. But this is Superman. It's like one of the most well-known IPs on the planet, if not the most well-known IP on the planet. In fact, I don't know if I mentioned it here on the show, but every time I watch like the teaser or the sneak peek or any of these promo materials, I've noticed that not one of them says Superman, because it doesn't have to. It's that well known that like it's just enough to just see him and like the symbol and all that stuff, which I think is very cool and moving. But from the Milkbone commercial, they dropped this image that I got up here, and boy, did I have a good fucking cry today to this. Oh shit!
So ordinary.
Yeah, I mean, it's normal. It's him in his childhood bed, with his dog, a boy and his dog. It's like a very common thing that a lot of people could relate to, but you know, obviously, hits a little bit harder for me for obvious reasons still. But yeah.
Rest in peace, Emma.
That's right, the GOAT. So, oh man, this movie's gonna probably destroy me. You might not hear from me after this movie. I might just like walk silently into the mountains and just live out my days. But yeah, very excited for this trailer. I
am just excited for the movie. I'm sick of trailers.
I know you don't like trailers. I know.
Sick of trailers.
Yeah, when's it coming out? June?
July 11th. We're 2 months away officially.
11th.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's go. 2 months.
What the hell are we supposed to use, man? Harsh language?
Welcome back, folks. This is episode 132. We've got an exciting one today. A pivot. For the first time in the history of the podcast, we are not talking about the scheduled movie, which was supposed to be Young Guns, but everybody got to see Sinners, and we were really excited to talk about it. So we're talking about Sinners a little bit later in the show. Really excited to hear what you guys have to say about that one. How was your guys' week?
Good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. I watched a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, you're grinding, bro. You
That's
all right?
the norm for me
You
lately.
might need some fluids or something. I don't know.
Nah, I'm drinking a lot of water. I'm good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Did you guys catch up on this week's episode of The Studio? It was a really good one.
Yeah, it was great.
The Grammys?
Not the Grammys, the
The Golden Globes.
Golden Globes, yeah.
Yeah.
It was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
The way he with the what's her name? Zoe Kravitz. This shit was so funny. I liked how you know what this show reminds me of a little bit? I don't know if you guys have seen it, but the movie This Is the End with Seth Rogen and Danny McBride and like that whole crew
I have actually
of
seen
people.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a classic.
Because that movie does something funny where like they all play like parodies of themselves, but based on the public perception of who they are as people.
Yeah. Right.
And this kind of almost feels a little bit like that when these like actual actors are playing themselves in the show. But this episode was great. I love how everybody was just like freaking out over Sal, and he got like his
Sal Saperstein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's funny is
that was Adam Scott.
I think him and Adam Scott are actually childhood friends.
That's awesome.
So it kind of like plays into. I don't know if that story is true that he slept on his couch, but I do think that they're childhood friends.
Yeah, that's great.
So that was a fun episode.
Zack Snyder piece was funny too.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I got a good kick out of it. At least he could. At least he could. Have some fun with himself. That's good.
Yeah.
Doesn't take himself too seriously. The guy just wanted his son, his biological son, to be in a shot with his naked mother in Watchmen. But at least he could take himself. He could joke about himself a little bit.
Yeah. Yep.
That's all I watched this week, though. Honestly, I didn't get around to watching pretty much anything else. I did watch a movie. But I can't remember what it was now. Actually,
I mean, I did watch.
Andor?
No. Would you watch?
Oh my god!
I'm waiting at this point. I'm just. Waiting.
I fucking watched Andor. It's like I said, it's like top 5 at this point.
That's crazy.
Good.
I've
Or
heard
maybe
this.
top 6. It's maybe 6.
Are you watching Andor?
It's up there. Me?
Dusty.
Yes,
Oh.
I am.
Okay.
Mhm.
I heard
Yeah.
this season is doing a lot of like commentary on like current events. A lot of like with a lot of stuff with like ice raids sort of and shit of that nature. Is that true?
It's more of the same that it's always been doing. I don't think there's any extra, to be honest. Because
Gotcha.
it was always like painting the same picture of like the oppressive fucking
Yeah.
empire
Yeah, this is the
beating down on the
start
small
of the
people,
rebellion.
so
So yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty.
it's
And
more of the
pretty
same. I don't think it's
fascistic.
any more woke or whatever than usual. And it's
And
good.
also-
It's amazing. I love
And also, it's the story of history. Like, it's nothing new. Like, this is just what people in power do when they're in power.
it. Yeah.
I heard Mon Mothma gives like a pretty rousing speech
that was
about
good.
the death of intellect.
Dude, so the three episode thing is like, each one's basically like a fucking movie. Like
Yeah.
if you watch them back to back.
Right.
This most recent was like one of the, not just Star Wars, but just best TV I've seen,
Wow.
period.
That's a
This last three
bold
split.
claim.
You got to watch it.
I'm going to watch it.
Gilroy was saying they stepped on canon a little bit, and he's like, "Yeah, I couldn't. Like, there were some things that I couldn't do it the way that was done in the other places. I had to do my own twist on it." So he explains it a little bit why there's some differences or whatnot, and like the Mon Mothma speech is one of them.
Gotcha. Well, that's cool. I mean, I'm glad you guys are liking it. I'm sure I'm going to love it. I found the 3 episode blocks a little bit like overwhelming. As soon as I missed like the first week, I was like, fuck, I'm behind like a whole season at this point. Like it hit me out of nowhere. So now I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll watch it. I'm going to watch it. This is obviously, I really want to watch it. I love the show.
Yeah,
Love
we're
the
supposed
first
to
season.
cover it weekly.
I watched this movie. Sometimes I like to watch like just. I like to, I like rom-coms and stuff. And I also like rom-com adjacents, which are like the early 2000s, like raunchy comedies, like American Pie and stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
But I've seen like literally all of them at this point. So if I'm in the mood for a rom-com, it's like I'm almost always watching something that I've seen already. But I ended up running into something that I hadn't seen. I'd heard of it, but I just somehow never watched it. It's from the early 2000s. It's called I Love You, Beth Cooper.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, it was by so for one, I'm surprised I haven't seen it yet because Chris Columbus directed it, and he's the famous director from like the 80s. Wrote Gremlins, did Home Alone, like all these movies. Some of the Harry Potter movies. Big time director. Hayden Panettiere's in it. This guy Paul Rust, who I think is a funny writer. So I ended up watching that. It wasn't a great movie, but it was pretty funny and decent. Like, it's not great by like, you know, I ain't gonna fucking sit here and be like, you gotta fucking watch this. It was just like a fun little laugh, you know?
Yeah.
I enjoyed
I
it.
like rom-coms are like kind of like that for the most part. Like,
Yeah.
usually a little decent little watch.
Yeah,
Doesn't
you
have to be revolutionary or whatever.
Exactly. You ain't getting When Harry Met Sally. Yep.
I'm in your fucking head, kid.
So that's all I watched. What else did you guys watch besides those two, Andor and
oh baby,
Last
I watched a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched Young Guns, which we maybe talk about next week now.
Yeah, I got to look at the schedule.
So I'll just save it for that.
Well, did you like it? Yes
I watched that.
Yes. Okay, you liked it. Good.
But yeah, we can talk more in depth on that next week. I also finished Skeleton Crew.
Oh, wow.
That was also really good.
Nice.
Really, really good.
That is a good show.
It wasn't a perfect watch for me. I had some dusty gripes in there.
Yeah.
The ending was like kind of for me. Like, it was great.
Don't spoil
like
it.
First, no, I'm not. I was first 6 episodes, I was really enjoying it. And then towards the end is where it just kind of got a little worse. Not like bad or anything. I still think it was a great show, but I just didn't like the ending that much. I feel like. But yeah, that show was good. That show was really good. What else did I watch? I finished the first season of Righteous Gemstones.
Oh shit!
Oh,
that was pretty fucking good too. Yeah,
you enjoyed it?
Yeah. I didn't think. I don't know what I expected from the show, but it definitely exceeded whatever I expected.
That's good. What didn't you think? You said you didn't think something.
I was just saying I just didn't know what I was going to expect from this show.
That's fair, especially if you're not like super familiar with Danny McBride's like sort of shtick. Like,
yeah.
Now that you've watched season 1, like this is pretty much like his whole thing. Like, and what's funny, when you eventually watch Eastbound and Down, you'll see how Eastbound is like the foundation of like everything he's done after. Yeah, Gemstones is so good. There's literally not a bad episode in the whole series, so good, enjoy it. Couple of trailers dropped this week that looked pretty interesting. The first one was this trailer for a movie called The Long Walk. It's based on a Stephen King. I think it's a short story. It's basically the movie Speed, but with walking. Where if you
young men have to walk, and if they stop, they get killed. Yep,
or if they pause for too long.
Sounds like a fucking Mr. Beast challenge.
It does sound like a Mr. Beast. Yo. Yeah, but you got to have him on the thumbnail, like doing some dumbass fucking face that a bunch of Indian kids are gonna try to like pretend to recreate on fucking line. It's like all thumbnails are. Yeah, I joined this Discord for like thumbnail creators, right? To just like develop my skills, because developing thumbnails, I've learned, is like a totally different beast than just being a graphic designer. But like,
for sure,
literally, like everybody is. It's like in this Discord I did. It was like this. I joined like a challenge where they like will pose like a fake video title and premise, and then you have to make a thumbnail for it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's just for fun. And I'm not trying to be racist, but it's literally nothing but like Indian kids and Russians that are just making like overly AI generated titles that are trying to look like Mr. Beast videos, thumbnails rather. And I'm just like, all right, I'm not getting really any education from this. So it's, yeah. But that movie, The Long Walk, it looks good.
Yeah, it does.
And the premise is cool. And the kid in it is the guy from Alien, Romulus, the one who played the android brother.
Oh, okay.
What's his name? David Johnson. But
I saw another trailer for Weapons when I went to see Sinners.
Bro, Weapons looks fucking good.
Yeah, that reignited my hype for that. That was such a good trailer. It looks
like
a good
28 years trailer.
Yep.
When I went to see it, that was a good one.
I didn't see any of this shit in my theater. They just started the fucking movie. There were no trailers, which is fine. I mean, I like trailers, but like also I don't want to sit through like 45 minutes of them. But yeah, 28 years later, this movie's gonna be so good. I actually have it here as a piece of news, but I'll just bring it up now. But like the trailer for 28 Years Later was nominated for 5 awards at the Golden Trailer Awards, which I didn't even know was a thing.
Golden Trailer.
Yeah.
No.
You hate trailers, Marvin, but there's a whole fucking award show for trailers. What do you think of that?
That's terrible. Want to give it the Carrie treatment and drop some pig's blood on the fucking stage.
On the awards, that's so funny. Yeah, this movie's gonna be good. I had my doubts about it. I was like, why are they doing this? I still kind of feel that way, but I don't know. It looks good. So we'll see. I still don't remember. Did you see the original, Marvin?
The original
28 Days Later?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Ooh, that's gonna be a banger Make Marvin Watch episode.
Yeah.
Best zombie film ever made, arguably.
Really?
Yeah, it's like honestly, like so. It's written by Alex Garland, who did Civil War, as you know, and it was directed by Danny Boyle, who's like one of the best directors of our time. So right there, it's great. He filmed it on like a fucking cell phone or some shit back in the day, so it looks fucking gritty and like rugged, and like you're out there with these fucking zombies.
Ooh.
And it's not just it's not just normal zombies. It's like there's like a kind of a spin on them. But yeah, like I have like a reverence and obviously an appreciation, as do probably everybody who's horror fans, for like Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, and those movies that like paved the way. But I think if I was really gonna rank them in my favorites, 28 Days Later is in the top 3. I think my top 3 is probably, and this is gonna sound funny, but Shaun of the Dead is my number 1. I think number 2 is this, and number 3 is probably Train to Busan.
Ooh, good one.
And 4 and 5 will be Dawn of the Dead and Night of the Living Dead, just because they're classics. And not Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead, the original Dawn of the Dead. Although Zack Snyder's
I'm a big
Dawn
fan of
good.
Return of the Living Dead. That's
a good one.
Favorite zombie movie.
Ghost of Mars has got a soft spot in my heart. I think it's
the John Carpenter
so
one?
bad. It's so bad. It's good.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a rare movie where 2 of my favorite artists from separate genres came together in one magical moment, because John Carpenter directed the movie, and one of my favorite musicians of all time, Buckethead, did the soundtrack. He's a guitarist. So that was cool.
Are you going to say Ice Cube?
Oh, yeah, no, he's one of my favorites too. All right, well, let's get into some news, folks. Dusty used to be a newsman. He used to do video game journalism. Now he does entertainment news for us here on the podcast and for you guys at home. What do you got for us this week, Dusty?
Well, we're going to start at the bottom link here, not the very bottom one, the second from the bottom, because we're a YouTube channel and we were talking about it. But apparently YouTube is cracking down on fake-ass, bullshit-ass, clickbait-ass trailers.
Good. I'm sick of seeing that shit.
Oh, good.
Yeah, thank fucking God. I get these sometimes. There are only a couple of places that I will watch YouTube trailers from. If it's an official like Warner Brothers or Sony, One Media is a good one. But there's only like 3 or 4 trailer channels that are trustworthy.
Yeah.
If you get like on your phone, like, oh, watch this new trailer for Superman right now. It's AI generated fake bullshit that they're using to get money. And apparently there was an investigation in this, and this is why YouTube is cracking down and banning these guys, because the big companies weren't even going after them for copyright infringement. They were going after them for ad revenue.
Of course.
So they were making money off of it as well, I guess. But yeah.
Not to be
I'm looking at one of the ones that was suspended, the channels that were suspended from your link, Screen Culture. And it looks like they're still doing it, but they just put concept trailer in the title.
Yes.
But I don't understand.
That's like the way to circumvent it.
But I don't understand. I mean, listen, YouTube's rules and regulations are insane. I follow some people on YouTube, on Twitter, some other like movie channels and stuff. One specifically, what is it? Heavy Spoilers. Dusty, I'm sure you probably watched them.
But yeah, I've seen them.
He just posted something recently about a thing he got into with YouTube. I don't know if I could find it because he posts literally all day, every day. But
yeah, those. Yeah, you got to bookmark those, or you'll never find them again.
Yeah, I don't know. He had a fucking thumbnail that was like not at all an issue, and it got I think this is it. It was like not at all anything worthy of flagging, and they flagged it. Here it is. Hiding tears actually worked. This was his thumbnail. And they claimed to have gone through a human reviewer, and they flagged it and took it down for strong profanity like fuck used in thumbnails or titles. Any use of extreme profanity, which includes hateful language or slurs in the video, thumbnail titles such as the N-word or the F-word. For additional information about hateful language or slurs, he eventually got it fixed, but there's no chance that this was seen by a human reviewer who then flagged it. Like,
absolutely not.
So why do they even lie about it? But I don't know what the overall game plan is for those AI YouTube trailers, because I mean, are they fake? Are they tricking anyone? I don't think that's the goal, because like,
I mean, some of them do it for links, make me because I've had actually Christina send me links before too, like, hey, did you see this trailer for this new movie? And I'm like, it's a concept trailer, it's not real.
Yeah.
So yeah, people.
To me, the second I see them, I know they're fake. But whatever.
Yeah, well, yeah, we're veterans of the internet.
If they're selling,
that's the thing. I feel like before it had concept in the name, you're gonna click. A lot of people would click it and watch it through.
That's fair.
I mean, I've clicked once or twice, going not knowing which channel it goes to, because like I'll do the Google feed on my phone, swipe all the way to the right or whatever. You get the news feed, and sometimes it'll get trailer links for that, and I'll click on those. But I don't do it so much anymore when I don't know the source.
That's fair. Well, that's good. Crack down, YouTube. Get them out.
Yep.
So, anyways,
all right. What else you got?
Okay. Well, we got your favorite type of movie, Dan, coming out here. We got a Mount Everest biopic period piece.
Wow.
Now, this is penned by Luke Davies, who did The Lion. I have never actually seen this movie, the Dev Patel movie. It's highly rated. It's like an 8. I'm surprised I never saw it. It's just called Lion, not The Lion. It's just called Lion. It's like 2017 or 2016.
Oh, that's a good movie.
But I haven't seen this, but this guy he was in Monkey Man, I think it was called.
Dev Patel, yeah.
And there's like another like Indian John Wick movie coming out where he's starring in it too.
Yeah, he's taken over.
Maybe I'll check out this.
He's becoming the Indian John Wick. I was going to make that joke last week. He's just in like every Indian action movie now,
Yeah.
His first movie was very, very good. Slumdog Millionaire, if you haven't seen that.
Great movie.
Danny Boyle movie.
But anyways, this Mount Everest movie, written by Luke Davies, it focuses on Sherpa Tenzing Norgay and his summit of Mount Everest in 1953, along fellow outsider New Zealander Edmund Hillary. It's just reported that Catriona Balfe from The Amateur is reportedly playing Jill Anderson, a friend of Tenzing who helped organize the trips up Mount Everest. But Willem Dafoe and Tom Hiddleston are playing the buddies in this Mount Everest period piece. So it could be good. I mean, I don't know. They're climbing a mountain. It's Willem Dafoe and Tom Hiddleston. I mean, on a mountain.
That's a duo. Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be a good movie, but man, I could not be less interested in something like this. Like I just couldn't.
What year was it? What was
1950s?
1953. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, cool.
Back when human exploration was still pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely it's definitely a great, amazing feat. I don't know.
Have you guys ever seen Everest, the 2015 movie called Everest?
No.
I think I've seen all the mountain movies, Marvin.
It was decent. It's like they go up there and then they basically an avalanche happens and worst case scenario.
Here's the thing.
It was a good watch. I think it was based on a true story, right?
Probably, yeah. And here's the thing
I
with
think most of them are
biopics. Like here's my central issue with them. Either you know a lot about the topic or the subject of the film, and it will never live up to your knowledge of it because it has to dramatize stuff because it's a movie. No, that's exactly what happened with the Dylan
You're
movie.
disappointed, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Either it doesn't do it justice, you don't think, or it leaves things out, or it's not accurate. Like I know the Freddie Mercury movie was like wildly dramatized that even the fucking his bandmates were like, "Nah, this is like none of this happened." And if you and that's if you know about the person, they're disappointing. But then if you don't know about the person, like Marvin's example with A Complete Unknown,
you're slightly informed, slightly misinformed.
and how do you even know if what you're watching is even truthful? You just don't.
You don't.
So it's like, what's the point of even watching these? Now, that's not to say there's no entertainment value. Marvin, I know, liked A Complete Unknown. But did he take away anything about Bob Dylan from that movie? I don't even think I ever asked. Marvin, what did you take away from that movie about Bob Dylan?
He made some bangers.
That's it, right? That he just made some
He
bangers?
played the electric guitar at the folk festival.
Nice, yeah, the big shit.
Wasn't supposed to do that.
Nah, he broke the rules. That's really all you know about the fucking guy. And so it's like,
And he cheats a lot.
He cheats and is a scumbag.
Cheater.
Yeah, so
yeah,
those are just
stubborn egoists.
Those are just that's my issue with biopics. But I mean, this is whatever. I'm sure this will be good. I'm not trying to shit on it. Great cast. Willem Dafoe has really never been in a bad thing. I don't know. So, and I love Tom Hiddleston.
Lighthouse movie.
Lighthouse is great. Shut up.
Lighthouse is fire.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
All right.
What else we got?
We got a new horror film from Eli Roth, Dan. I don't know if you saw this news. Simply titled Ice Cream Man. And according to him, it's alleged to be the most terrifying and insane film of his yet.
Mm-hmm. That means it's going to have a 3.2 on IMDb.
The story of an idyllic summer town descending into madness when an ice cream man serves kids sweet delights with horrifying results.
Mm-hmm.
Is the synopsis is supposed to be ready by spring, summer next year, I believe.
Yeah.
But he was talking to... who was he talking to? Slash Film? I don't remember. But he said, I've had this idea for a long time and the studios were too afraid of my early drafts. Now is the time to push the envelope farther than I ever have with what I think will be my most terrifying and insane film to date. Films like Ice Cream Man are what we crafted the horror section for, to make unrated, boundary-pushing theatrical events the horror fans can all scream about for years. I'm very lucky to have a fantastic partner like MCT, and of course, all the investors in the horror section. Are you familiar with the horror section, Dan? Do you know what this is?
The what?
The horror section?
The horror section? No.
Yeah, it's this company that he created where horror fans can invest in horror films to make them come to fruition.
It's a good name for a podcast that does horror movies.
Sick. Yeah. But it's for fans to invest in horror films for people that, make fucking basically B-rate horror movies that are 3.2 on IMDb.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Eli Roth is a fucking hack.
I like Cabin Fever a lot. That's like one of my favorites. Actually.
Yeah, Cabin Fever is like the one borderline good movie, like accidentally good movie that he made because it's like a B horror movie, but I don't even know if he did that on purpose. But this dude is like the walking, talking example of... what do we call it when like kids get like, what is that called again? Where like actors have success because of their parents are actors, like Denzel Washington's son. What's that called? Nepotism.
Nepotism.
He's like the king of nepotism. I don't know if it's technically nepotism, but I know that his parents like funded a lot of his movies because they're rich and they use their like rich and powerful, possibly Zionist friends to fund his films. He's just a fucking hack, dude. Look at his filmography. None of his movies are good except for Cabin Fever. And again, that is a very borderline ass movie. Like borderline.
You didn't like Thanksgiving?
I didn't even watch Thanksgiving. Everything this guy
so you
has.
don't even know.
Hostel is fucking terrible. It's just, dude, nah.
Hostel scared the shit out of me though when I was
Hostel
younger.
was okay.
Stop it.
I didn't.
Well,
I don't know if I saw the other ones.
He's talking about pushing boundaries here. What is he going to do that tops Terrifier 3? Because that's the big horror movie that everybody's been talking about.
He's not.
Okay.
Weapons is going to shit on Terrifier.
Weapons is going to be... I don't even want to start. I think Weapons is going to be what we all expected.
The hype for Longlegs.
I think it's actually going to be what Longlegs should have been.
I can't wait.
Like... It's a movie that raised like what $80 million. The was what was the price went up
budget?
to for no, not the budget, the price for winning the script.
Oh, right.
And fucking Jordan Peele fired his like people because they didn't.
He fired his fucking team,
Right,
bro.
the bids.
He
Yeah, the
couldn't
bids
get
went
the
up.
movie. That's
Yeah.
insane.
It's gonna be that movie's gonna be a banger.
Is that confirmed or is that like a marketing thing? Like,
No, I think that was
has
confirmed.
he confirmed that?
I don't know if he.
Yeah,
did
I fired my
specifically.
team because they
I don't know.
Yeah.
he just
That's some
raged at
Tom
everybody.
Green shit. You're fucking fired, Bob.
So, all right. Well, Eli Roth, cool. We'll keep an eye out for this. Maybe it'll be good.
All right. Yeah. Probably not. But,
Probably not.
You know.
No.
All right. Well, we got Cliffhanger and Die Hard 2 director
Oh,
Rennie Harlan landed his next gig, Black Tides. The film will tell the story of Rebecca, who reunites with her estranged father, Bill, and Sonny Malaga, expecting a healing family trip with their young son on a sailboat, Sebastian. Instead, their voyage across the Strait of Gibraltar becomes a nightmare as they're relentlessly attacked by rogue orcas.
wow. What a compelling story. I want to.
Rebecca,
Like
confronting
Jaws.
deep emotional wounds, must rise as an unlikely hero in a battle for survival.
This is what the
So
kids
they're
would
making a
also
movie about
call
it.
Straight to DVD, folks.
Gonna need a bigger boat.
Dude, this is
Yeah,
what is this like Free Willy if it was a horror movie? Like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that would actually be a good movie. I mean, I don't know.
Yo, remember Free
But,
Willy, Marvin?
this-
You ever watched that banger?
I do. I love Free
That's a
Willy.
big-
Free Willy.
Hell yeah.
Free Willy 2 wasn't as good.
I don't
True.
even remember the second one.
Yeah, I barely do too. That's why I
Hold
said it wasn't
me
as good. But yeah, Rennie
like you
Harlan
were my
directing
brother.
the Orca attack movie. I don't even know if the attacks are still happening. That kind of just fell off of the news.
I don't even remember it
So,
happening. Period.
You don't remember the orcas attacking the ships as they were passing through? You remember this, right, Marvin?
I don't.
Nah.
You guys don't remember the orcas attacking the sailboats?
No.
Like last year or the year
That's
before?
such a weird thing to fucking remember.
I don't remember that shit. No,
No,
this-
well, they're making a movie
It's
about it
fucking
because it
genocide going
happened
on.
so fucking much. So
Remember the orcas.
I guess it would be the guy who follows the news that knows that news tidbit.
No, I'm just kidding.
I don't even. What did you say, Marvin? I just heard you
it's
mumbling
good.
about
No, I said it's
orcas.
no, I said there's fucking genocide going on. I can't be remembering
Oh yeah,
the fucking orcas.
right there is.
That's fair.
Oh, that's true. Fucking hell. Oh man.
All right. Movie tariffs. Surprisingly, not the solution, according to some Hollywood executives. We talked about this. We've talked about this a few times. We talked about people talking about how it's cheaper to take an entire crew of Hollywood film industry experts, fly them overseas, put them up in a hotel, and film an entire movie and come back than it is to stay on set. I was actually watching an interview with, I want to say, Danny McBride, and he was talking about this. He's like, I thought all of Hollywood films were filmed on a lot, and like we were doing something. Oh no, it was somebody talking about. It might have been him. He was talking about Will Ferrell. He was like, we would just cruise around on the lot in our golf carts because nobody was around because nobody was filming on the lot. But anywho, back to the story. We got Prime Video executives, Sony executive, NBC Universal executive, and Peacock executives, also HBO's executives. They believe that the problem is not tariffs, that it's actually fixing California's tax incentive programs,
Interesting.
which is also wildly hilarious. If you want to fix the problem, you fix the tax problem, not the tax incentive problem. But what do I know? I don't know anything about this industry, so I just thought it was funny that we're this is going back and forth now about how they're going to fix Hollywood. But
I mean, listen, we're talking about a movie today in just a few minutes, which is the answer to how to fix Hollywood. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not a difficult task. Just make things that people want to watch, and it goes through for every industry too. I was just talking about this with a friend of mine about video games. Like, you got these companies that want to just rush stuff out because they think rushing things out is going to make them more money, when in reality it's turning people off because the product suffers because of it. A company like Rockstar, who just delayed GTA again another year, has so much social standing because they just make bangers They could fucking release the game whenever they want. It's been 13 years since GTA 5. They could take forever. They could delay it. They could charge $200 for this game, and nobody's going to bat an eye. Why? Because they consistently make good shit.
There's a couple of devs that do that. I don't know if you could say that same about the movie industry, though. I think game devs like CD Projekt Red is already on shaky ground, but From Software, and there's one or two devs that can really do no harm because they make great games.
Yeah, but I'm just
regardless of what it takes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm just making an example because executives, I think, are just stupid.
Yeah.
They sit around and wonder, like, gee, I don't understand how, like, nobody's going to see our thing and, like, we don't get it. It's like, just look to these other examples of how to make successful things. If you want to make a successful movie, look at what Sinners just did. And we're going to talk about it. So I'm not going to go on a long thing, but you get my gist.
Yeah. Well, speaking of executives killing things, Zaslav is responsible for...
This is tragic.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil spinoff never happening. Now, the sequel movie also never happened. Zaslav not as responsible for that, but Eli Craig was reminiscing with Slash Film. This is a Slash Film reference on his directorial debut and the struggles to do a sequel. And this is the quote from him. Honestly, Tucker and Dale 2 has died more times than the college kids in Tucker and Dale. We've had so many versions that have almost got off the feet for one reason or another have gotten killed. It really does set us back that people can't look at the box office, the actual box office of the movie. And then you go look at it like the Rotten Tomato score, the budget of it, how much money it made. Like, it was an easy sequel that could have been done.
It's one of the best
But he
movies.
goes on, it's always been a struggle. And then when we do set it up and we get all the pieces together, it gets killed somehow. We almost did a TV show. It was on TNT, TBS. And you'll be happy to know that David Zaslav, the slayer of all cinema, came in and put the final nail in the coffin for Tucker and Dale as we were about to go to series and just canceled all production.
That would have been so good a show. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Such a great movie.
It would have been, up there with Ash versus the Evil Dead. So
it's a comedy horror, Marvin. It's just so good. That's all I can say about it.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Yeah, you should watch it one night. Very good, funny movie to watch.
Very good.
Watch it.
Comedy horrors are the best.
Watch it with C. You guys will love it. It's funny as fuck.
Put it on my list.
I have a couple of things that I noted this week. Speaking of horror movie sequels, Dusty, were you aware that an Evil Dead sequel was on the horizon?
Yes.
It's called Evil Dead Burn.
Yeah. This isn't the only spinoff because we talked about they're trying to make this a universe, the Deadverse or the Deadiverse, you know?
Yeah, Evil Dead Burn. Sebastian Vanacek is directing it, and he made that movie. The foreign movie is called Vermin, but I think it was called something else here. I think it was the one about the spiders or whatever that came out not too long ago.
Oh, I remember.
We never watched that.
No, we didn't, and I never will.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like spiders.
He does not like
arachnophobia. Infested.
Right?
Yeah. Arachnophobia was enough for me in my life, dealing with a horror movie that deals with spiders.
That shit looks crazy.
Evil Dead Burn. Now, I've gone back on my opinion of Evil Dead Rise. I think at the time we all thought it was pretty decent. But the more I think about it, the less I like it because it's not really an Evil Dead movie. It's just Evil Dead by name alone.
True.
I don't know. I don't know if you could have. I don't know if you could truly do an Evil Dead without Ash. So maybe just put it to bed. You know?
Right.
Not everything has to have 40 fucking sequels or be what they should really do is they should have Ash go out in one final blaze of glory and have him fight do like Ash versus Jason or something like that. Just do some fucking sick crossover.
Right.
And let him go out
where
he
kills the Evil Dead boss and something it's all done.
That. Yeah, maybe something like that. Because I just think of how good I tweeted about it the other day from our account when I saw this news.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I said something along the lines of I would crawl through glass to fucking have another season of Ash versus Evil Dead.
Yeah.
But that show was so. I said I'd give literally anything for them to bring back Ash versus Evil Dead, and that show was so good and so perfect that like you'll never top it. So just stop. Just end the franchise. It's over. You're not going to make good stuff. Maybe you'll get people to go to the theaters, and maybe that's the point. But I don't know. As a fan of the franchise, like I'm not super excited about this. I'll obviously watch it, but anyway, what else you got?
Okay.
What's your last piece?
Well, I got the
here?
last piece of news. Yeah, we're talking about it. Sinners doing well.
Sure is.
And a reported $90 million budget with rights going back to Ryan in a quarter of a century, which is unheard of generally. It passed the $200 million mark in the U.S. and Canada on its fourth weekend. It's on pace to hit $275 million. It just passed Pixar's 2017 Coco for, I think it hit $200 million. The Sinners hit 212, so it just passed it. And the question is, will it pass Inception? It's got to hit 292 or 300 million.
Yeah. So in this case, what they mean by original film is that it's a original IP. It's not something that is a franchise like the MCU and stuff, which has been dominating the box office for the last fucking decade or more. So let's get into it. The movie we're here to talk about today is Sinners. And as you just alluded to with this piece of news, we've talked about it here on the show quite often, the death of the blockbuster and what blockbusters used to be. We talked a long time ago, Jaws. We made Marvin watch it for the first time. Jaws is literally the first blockbuster. It coined the phrase blockbuster, which means breaking the block, busting the block, a line around the block to go into the movie. And for the longest time, blockbusters were original, generally like action movies, but not always. And then Marvel came along and fucking completely blew it out of the water. Now, for the last bulk of time, it's 10 years or more, probably longer, 15 years maybe. I can't remember when Iron Man came out, but like blockbusters are literally only comic book movies. It's crazy. Or comic book adjacent.
Right. Yeah.
And along comes this movie, this original story from Ryan Coogler, who is the GOAT, that is crushing these box office milestones and, you know, raising all sorts of hype. That is an original story. And this is one of those movies where I get why people are loving it and I get where the hype is coming from, but I actually don't even think the hype really prepares you for what this movie actually is. So that's my position on it. I'm curious what you guys thought about it. So let's dig into Sinners. I was so hyped for this movie when we saw that trailer back originally. And again, I couldn't have guessed where this movie was going to go because from the trailer alone, it just seems like a vampire movie set in like a cool setting with Michael B. Jordan, who's a great actor. But it is so much more than that. And this is about these are about twin brothers, both played by Michael B. Jordan, Smoke. And what's his brother's name again? Stack. Smoke and Stack, right.
Smokestack. Yeah.
Oh, Smokestack. There you go. And they have just returned home to Mississippi from Chicago, where they spent a couple of years after serving in World War I, and they were working for Al Capone's crime family. And
crazy.
They've come back home, and they want to open up a juke joint, which is like a little club for music and dance, and yeah. And they want to carve out a little bit of a life for themselves. And throughout the movie, they bring along their cousin Sammy, who's the son of a preacher, aka Preacher Boy, who has a love and a supernatural talent for playing jazz music. And they drag him along to prepare for this night, their opening night at the club. And halfway through the movie, it becomes a vampire movie where vampires try to come inside. I've seen so many funny memes about the vampires too, of just like, I saw one TikTok that was like me talking shit to the vampires because they can't come in. And he's like talking him at the door. Yeah, and it's a really interesting spin on vampire stuff, but we'll get into that a little bit more. But that's pretty much like, that's like the core, like the central plot of the movie, but it does not even breach the surface of what this movie was about. So real quick, let's Marvin, what were your initial thoughts about this movie?
I was excited for this for a while. So you guys know I attempted to go see it.
Yep.
A couple of weeks back. more close to when it first came out, and it was just too packed at the local theater. Sadly,
Right.
couldn't get in. So I really paid for this movie twice because I had bought tickets.
Oh, you paid the first
online. Yeah, but it was only it was the deal, right? So it was $5 tickets. So I was like, whatever.
Okay.
I'll pay for this movie twice. I don't care.
It's all right. It's going to a good guy.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was like. I know it's going to be good, and it was great. We finally got to see it. So we went to this not local theater to see this, and the freaking prices of the stuff was ridiculous. Now, I don't know if it's always like this. This was a Cinemark.
I don't know if I heard of that.
Yeah, I don't know if I think it's a pretty big
it is.
Theater chain.
They're out here too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't remember all the prices. I just remember. So we got a smart water.
Oh,
small smart water, and it was $6.
Yeah, you got to sell your house now. Fuck.
I was like, dude, I can't believe this. And I was like,
A
whatever,
large
it's fine.
popcorn and 2 drinks is like $20. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That's a combo. It's cheap. It's
right.
A combo.
And so we went to the auditorium or whatever. Yeah, this was a good movie, but I was telling you guys earlier, the screen, our experience was a little tainted because of our screen wasn't great.
Hate to see it.
But I thought the movie was really good. I thought I thought the setting was good, but it was also a fucking terrible setting because it was like Jim Crow, like.
Well, it's terrible in like obviously, just what happened and what that was about, but it's like a huge part of the movie.
Oh, for sure, yeah. No, for sure. I enjoyed the movie a lot. The only issue I had at first was what I thought was the ending, which wasn't really the ending, which we'll probably talk about more. But overall, I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed this.
So your experience at the theater marred your opinion of the movie a little bit, or?
No, not really. It definitely hurt just the experience in general, but not my thoughts on the movie. Okay. I feel like
that's good.
Yeah, the movie was fantastic. Yeah, I definitely want to see it again though.
Dusty, what about you?
Great movie. Yeah. Great cinematography, great acting, great storytelling. I mean, if you want a Dusty gripe, it's not entirely original.
Oh,
I mean, if I said, hey, I'm going to make a movie about 2 brothers who were on a crime spree and are trying to get away, and they go into a bar and one of them dies to vampires at the end, you'd say, oh, yeah, I know that movie. Quentin Tarantino made that movie quite some time ago.
I've heard this.
Robert Rodriguez.
I've heard this narrative.
Yeah.
From Dusk Till Dawn.
So very Dusk Till Dawn vibes in a different, with the time, it feels like a deconstructed, reconstructed almost, like different timepiece, different period, different culture, but very much similar vibes. So in that aspect, it was a little bit predictable, but beyond that, amazing. Like, again, the music was great. The cinematography, the acting, everything was amazing. This was a great story, but yeah, loved it.
So I was saying, I didn't expect this movie to be what it actually became. On its face, it's like, oh, well, this is very similar to From Dusk Till Dawn. And if I had just watched the trailer and that was it, I would be like, yeah, okay, this is a pretty straightforward vampire movie. But it's not even a vampire movie. He uses the vampire as a vehicle to tell a story about, like, it's so multi-layered. It's really why it blew me away. Like, on its face, it's a story about culture and your culture being taken from you and the culture of America. And when you talk about the culture of America, American culture is literally black culture. Like, it is rooted in black culture. And like, you get all these people who are like, I've seen some people talk about the movie in a way where it's like, not that I want to like, this is going to sound pretentious as fuck, but like, you don't know what the experience of having your culture stripped away from you is like. You were born here, bro. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. Particularly talking about Remick, the vampire, who was brilliantly played by Jack O'Connell. And he's an Irish guy. And it's very purposefully that he was made to be Irish by Ryan Coogler, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But this movie is about like culture and tradition and assimilation and erasure, legacy. Like, it's the history of the United States. Gentrification, like literally all of it. And so you mentioned, the time period, Jim Crow, 1930s South, on a plantation where, now I don't know how many people know about this, because I know I certainly didn't learn it in school. I know about it because, I just know about it. Over the years, I've like learned and educated myself on American history, but I never learned this. I don't even know what you would call it. In the title track for the movie Sinners, there's a line, 40 acres and a mule. And that like derives from the fact that the former slaves were promised like land after they were free. And they were promised land and resources and stuff for economic self-sufficiency, but it actually wasn't that. I think this is called Sherman's Field Order or something like that, and it was broken and rescinded by the government later on. So they were basically what had happened was these former slaves were still enslaved. They were still working on the same plantation, and they were earning money that they could only spend within the fucking confines of this plantation, and they couldn't really go anywhere else. So
like worker towns.
Yeah, and that's basically where
your money's only good here.
Exactly. And so essentially, you still have people that are enslaved. And that's where this movie takes...
For all intents and purposes,
Right.
It's essentially indentured servitude because, you can't spend the money elsewhere. You have to spend it there.
And that's where this movie takes place. And they're on this plantation. And Smoke and Stack are two guys. You mentioned they're like crime, like they're, on a crime spree, but that's really not super accurate. Like you get the sense that, I mean, they're obviously criminals, but you get the sense that everything that they've done in their lives have been to A, protect one another, and B, to get out of this life of servitude and subjugation and all and hate and all this stuff that they've been subjected to. You get the sense that's actually why they went to fight in World War I. Like the movie doesn't really actually talk a lot about their time in the war, other than that they served. And he says at one point, he's like, "I'm a soldier boy, and you just gave me a command or something." That shit was so gangster. But like they don't really explain a super amount of why they went to go to the war. Not that they would have had a choice back then, but like I got the sense that they went as a means to escape.
Yeah, I mean, that's still happening today. Like, there's the joke about people going to the army to get a fucking Charger, right? Like,
to get
a Charger, the car, the Charger.
Really?
Yeah. Like,
I've never heard that.
People join the military when they don't have any other way to get a job, essentially.
Yeah,
like,
when you have no
types of people who join the military. There are people who their family is they have the lineage, or there are people who have nothing else and need it, and that's why politicians. It's a joke. Politicians send the poor to war. They don't send their own kids. They send not your kids in the same.
And that's the system. They've created a system of essentially what is still slavery. Like the working class is essentially still. It's not the same, but it's in a sense still it's wage slavery because you're working to survive. 100%. And then when
everything's taxed.
Yeah, and then
when you don't pay the taxes, you go to jail. We're indentured servants to the U.S. government.
And then when you have no recourse in life, you join the military so you could catch bullets for fucking, Johnny Arkansas or whoever the fuck, And it's just a tragic tale of American history. Is really what it is. That's why I said, the tale of American history is one of Black history, which is why it makes me fucking laugh when these racist motherfuckers who exist today in 2025 are like, we're taking our country back. Motherfucker, this is not your country. What are you talking about? The United States is literally built in it was born in genocide. We took it and fucking slaughtered the natives that lived here and built on the back of slaves. Everything you have is from immigrants. And then they'll move the goalpost and be like, well, they came legally and shit. Motherfucker, what are you talking about? Like, you don't even know what you're talking about. And so everything in this movie was like brilliantly crafted to like tell this story of American history, but about this shown through this group of people that are just doing what they can to like, I guess, get by and try to like as best as they can escape it. So Smoke and Stack, they leave World War I. They go work for the mob in Chicago for Al Capone. And you find out at one point in the movie that they've actually stolen from him. All this alcohol they have to open the juke joint was stolen from Al Capone. And they took some money from him and stuff and moved back home. So again, that was like the second step in their lives of like trying to like break out of this life cycle that they were in. And the juke joint, I don't even think they really thought this was going to be like an out, like the final out. I think it was just a sort of like one last hurrah type of thing. Turns out the building that they buy, they're buying it from like the Grand fucking Duke or whatever the fuck they call themselves of the KKK. And like
Imperial Dragon.
Yeah.
I don't know, I've seen different names for it.
Imagine
like
having
Grand
to call
Wizard,
yourself
Grand Dragon, Imperial Dragon. I've seen some crazy names for the leader of the KKK.
Yeah. Imagine having to call yourself that, you fucking small dick little pussy. But so like I don't know, I kind of got the sense that like they kind of knew where this was gonna go, right? But I don't know.
I don't think they knew because we found out later that they didn't know. Yeah, he tells them. So that's to your point about how everything was like crafted in such a way. It was almost like showing how in the system sometimes you're set up for failure no matter what options you take. Because like you go through all this, you go to war, you work for a gangster, you escape that, you try to go to straight life, which is starting their business, and then you're still set to fail that way. Because they were going to come back and kill him anyway, so it's like
and so beyond like those themes, there's also like music plays such a huge part of this movie. It's like literally like the core foundational structural element of this movie is not just music but jazz music.
Would you call this a musical?
Blues
music? Yeah, sorry. Musical adjacent. There's definitely a lot
because I came out considering a musical, and Christina and I had a conversation about it, and she was like, "No, not really." Well, a musical is a movie in which songs by the characters are interwoven into the narrative and sometimes accompanied by dancing, and that 100% was the case in this film. So
that is what happened.
So, but normally musical songs are like annoying and like you want to skip them, whereas they were pretty good in this case.
Yeah,
or maybe that's just how I see it, but. I think music
so it doesn't make it feel like a musical, but it's still it's still the act of, because it's done well. That's why I like this might be one of the best musicals I've ever seen. Christina's like, it's not really a musical. I'm like, it is.
Yeah. No, I mean, I definitely agree with you.
I can see that.
I think I would say musical adjacent. It certainly leans heavily on the music, but music is such a, again, like I said, a foundational element of the movie, and specifically the blues. And the blues started here in the South in the 1930s, and of course, again, American culture,
literally like based on like like slave anthems.
Yeah,
like,
a lot of again American culture, and a lot of the things that we hold dear or seem or think are like identifiers of America are Black culture, and blues music is one of those. And if you don't, without blues music, you don't have rock and roll. You don't have 90% of the music that you have today, including hip hop and all this stuff. It all started from blues and jazz.
Yep.
And
that's true.
And blues and jazz started in the fucking fields. Like that. This is how these guys, these people, they used art to express themselves and express their pain and their suffering and stuff, and turn it into a positive way. That's what art is. And then that's what the movie is. That's the story it's telling about how the powerful will come along and fucking take a thing and claim it as their own for profit and commoditize it, like Black music or Black culture and stuff like that. Like, and then they'll not only do that, they'll tell you that it's for your benefit. Like, no, we're gonna take.
I get that.
Yeah,
you're talking about Remick and when he was.
Well, Remick represents that. Yeah, the vampirism in this movie represents like cultural assimilation in a sense. He has more depth to him than that, and we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm sorry. What else did you were going to say about what I just said?
I was just agreeing
Yeah.
with the Remick piece.
Like they
kind of got a love-hate relationship with him just because of the circumstances. Like, of course, he's trying to erase everything as far as like the spirituality and all this stuff that they stand for.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they were already doomed from the people coming. They were going to come back anyway. So it's like he's evil, but it's like the lesser of two evils, which is kind of like another common theme of American history.
Yeah. So the movie opens with a voiceover from
exposition.
Yeah, some exposition from what was
Preacher Boy, right?
No. It was what was it?
Who was talking?
Was it Beatrice? No, I can't remember who it was. Who was the witch lady?
The witch lady.
Yeah, the one at the he had the baby with. Was it Smokes Girl or I can't remember if it was
Was it Anna or what was it?
Oh, what the fuck?
I forgot her name.
Why is she not here in the cast list? She's like a British actress. She did a fucking fantastic job.
Yeah, Annie.
Okay, so she think
was Hoodoo.
Yeah, Hoodoo. She's the one.
Which I had never heard of.
Wunmi Mosaku. She's the actress. She I think is in the opening. She's from the Loki show, by the way. She works for the TVA. But she opens the movie.
Also,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
She was also in
Lovecraft Country.
Lovecraft, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's fantastic. And so she is like kind of like a voodoo sort of like queen type of lady. And she's explaining in the beginning of the movie how some people throughout history possessed a talent so pure and so like preternatural that they could pierce the veil of not just the living and the dead, but like the veil of time and space, essentially. And and that just and it's framed around music and around the blues in this movie, but it's really a stand-in for all art and like how and really what it means is how art transcends everything. Like art is so natural and so pure that like people, the powerful, want to like take it for their own. And not just that, it's at its purest form at its inception, right? Once it goes out into the world, that's it. It loses all purity because it becomes popularized and commoditized and profitized and all this other stuff. So she opens the movie with that. And how this comes around later on in the movie is that the bulk of the movie we see Smoke and Stack. They're like going around town getting prepared for this night at the club opening. They're recruiting some singers and some guys to work the door and people they've known their whole lives that they consider family and friends. And at one point, little Sammy, who's the blues superstar, and also running from his own issues of his own from his dad, who's a preacher, and he doesn't want that life. His dad thinks the blues are the devil's music, and Sammy just wants to play the blues. So during this opening night, he plays a blues number that he wrote for his dad, and it's the scene of the movie that everybody's talking about. And at one point, we see they're calling it the barn burner. At one point, we see the veil between time and space, living and dead, literally breaks down during his performance because it's so powerful. And the scene is done actually so fucking well. It's like it's
crazy.
It's filmed like a oneer, but it's not a oneer. There's like just cuts throughout. But like we start to see dancers from African tribes of the past. We start to see
they're just creeping in like just so naturally. Yeah,
they just start naturally creeping into the shot. There's a guy who's dressed in like future clothing, but he's playing like Jimi Hendrix. At one point, their friends who work up in town, the Asian couple, Yao and I think Lee Jun were the two names. They start dancing, and in comes like an old Chinese like geisha dancer, and so it's representative of how art does transcend everything. It transcends culture, it transcends time, it transcends space, it transcends your tribe. And so I know the movie is very much a narrative about like Black history in America. But I think even deeper than that, and I don't want to like co-opt the movie's message or anything, but I think even deeper than that, it's about how we're all human beings at the end of the day. And like, while we all have tribes, we're really bigger than that. And like, we should aspire to transcend our tribe, whatever that tribe may be. That's how kind of I saw it. But that was a really, really awesome moment in the movie. And therein lies the issue where it becomes a vampire film, because Sammy's playing so good and he pierces that veil that Remick, a vampire, is tuned into it.
Feels
and
that power.
He feels that power and he wants it for himself. And him.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I kind of agree with you, but I don't necessarily fully agree with your premise on it's about art in general. I think it's more specifically a focus on music and how music is the ultimate form of enlightenment.
I agree with you, yeah.
Rather than just art in general, because you keep saying like art.
Well,
and I feel like the focus is music, and that the rhythm and the vibrations and the acoustics and everything is what opens up other worlds, and that's why music is so important, and more important than, say, something like a picture or a painting behind me or something like that. Like, music is like the message.
I agree with you. Writing and
agree.
I think writing and music probably share a similar power in turn, not like obviously literally what the movie is claiming, but
well, absolutely. I mean, Shakespeare is still remembered because of the way that he wrote things, and there's a reason for that. But,
I think music is
lyricist as well, but that's but that's music because there's a rhythm to it.
Yeah, and I think what you're trying to say, and I agree with you, is that music is like the purest form of art, because you're dancing and sweating and you're throwing yourself around and you're being expressive, and like it takes over you. Music, like it's very,
it can
very
be
powerful.
less structured too.
You are the art in motion. There's no representation of it. Yes, it's you doing it.
Yeah, so in comes Remick and a couple of freshly turned vampires who also happen to be clan members. We see a very brief shot of Remick running from Native American vampire hunters. And Remick is Irish, and he's very purposefully Irish. And this is where
Choctaw.
a lot of... What'd you say? Choctaw, yeah.
They were Choctaw, yeah.
Yeah, that was, They teased it, they volleyed it at the beginning because they were talking about the different types of music and what every culture called it. They referenced the Choctaw. Then the Choctaw showed up chasing him, trying to do the right thing. It alludes to maybe they'll show up at the end and give you a little exposition about what they're doing or some wrap up.
No.
And they just leave that thread loose, which is a little bit frustrating. But
no, I love that. They were like, "Oh, you don't want my help? Okay, fuck that. We're out of here. It's time to go home." And they never show up again because they mind their own business. Like, I love that.
This place we're out.
But again,
I think that was perfect.
Another group of people that were that had to assimilate. They had no choice. You know what I mean? In the scope of American culture. And that's why I thought it was brilliant that Remick was Irish. I've seen people talking about it, but not in the way that I think is correct. Like, they're just like, oh, well, the Irish lost their own homeland and had to assimilate to American culture. But that's not quite really what happened. I mean, it did happen that way. And Remick, he's singing songs from like fucking the 1300s or something in terms of Irish history. So he's very old. So he talks about how he experienced, like, how people came and stole his language and they took his culture away. And his goal is he says he wants to create equality. Like, he genuinely believes in equality, but it's not really equality. That's the thing. And that's what he represents, is white people being like, no. We want you to be equal with us so we could just take over all your fucking shit. We're equal. But you're not equal because you're fucking deleting me from history.
You lose your being and everything that makes you.
Right.
And, just join the machine.
Exactly. And but Remick, I think, goes a little bit deeper than that. There's a book called How the Irish Became White. And it's I never read it myself, but I'm familiar with it. But it talks about how when Irish people came to the United States with Italians and Irish people were not even considered white at the time. They were
I've heard of this. Yeah.
They were also marginalized. Obviously, probably not as bad as Black people were or other minority groups at the time, but they were also marginalized. You know,
they were indentured servants. They were a step above slaves.
Yeah, living in tenements and working in factories and all this stuff. And the book talks about how the way Irish people really became accepted in the United States was to just assimilate to the culture of white hate, really.
Gangs of New York.
Essentially, yeah. I forgot about that movie.
Movie.
So yeah, like so Irish people, in order to fit in and not be marginalized themselves, like, they just joined in on like the fucking black racism bullshit that white people. And so like that's why I thought Remick was like a really interesting choice, because the Irish have like a very storied history in the US as well. And obviously what he represents is like, hey man, let me get your culture. Because he's not out for blood like normal vampires. He wants Sammy's fucking thoughts and memories and talents, because Sammy is connected to musicians of the past and future because he's so talented. That's what Remick wants. He wants that for himself. Just like a fucking, you know, like a I don't know, a fucking music studio executive fucking coming to talk to Biggie and being like, yo, your music is so fucking good. Let me get some of that. And then who profit? You know what I mean? But that's what happens, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like what was once like cultural music is now sort of fucking forgotten. And you got motherfuckers being like, God, jazz is so sloppy. It's just a bunch of people making noise. It's like, what the fuck are you even saying?
Right.
So yeah, I loved Remick. I thought the vampire part of the movie was really awesome. Like, it's nothing special. It's just them, you know, picking people off one by one, trying to get inside. But I thought it was really effective.
Because it was like you said, it wasn't really about vampires. Like, that was just like a tertiary plot point. Like,
it was just a way to,
but it was good enough for like, you know.
And really the bulk of this movie, the strength of this movie was in the whole first half of, I love the whole movie. I'm just saying, like, I was already won over before the vampire stuff even happened. Like, I was locked in.
The world building was like next level.
The
like
relationships.
Smoke and Stacks, even their like 3-line history was already like, holy shit, this is amazing. Yeah.
I love them.
The costume design was insane in this fucking movie.
The set design, the costume design, you really felt like you were there. I love the relationships that they were building in the movie via them reconnecting with people.
So much backstory was just like short little scenes, like Annie and I think it was Annie and Smoke.
I forget which brother it was. Yeah.
They had the kid, the dead child together.
Yep.
Yeah, all the interwoven storylines were very compelling.
That was a great moment when he reconnected with her, and she's talking about how like she used all her power or juju or whatever to protect him.
And then it comes full circle and protects him again.
Yep. And she was like, because he's like, well, if that power is real, why couldn't you protect our daughter? And she's like, I don't really know.
That hurts.
It's tough. And I also loved what's her name's character, Haley Steinfeld, who plays, I think she was like half black and half white, but like,
well, she said her granddaddy was half black, which is hilarious.
That was the joke when she walked away. I ain't sure she is all white, right?
But that's a specific thing, right? There's like a name for that from back then, and I can't recall what it was.
It's like the one drop rule. That's like a thing. It's like the one drop rule.
I don't even know what that means. What does that mean? The one drop rule?
So depending on who you are, as like a slave master or whatever, if you have one drop of black blood in your body, you're considered black.
So that's who she
depends on who you talk. Yeah.
Okay, so that's basically because she obviously presents as white, but I think she was obviously accepted by them as black and part of the family and everything. But I think what they allude to is that when he left, he kind of did it to protect her, because he knew that she would get persecuted like they would as well. So he was like, kind of just stick to pretending to being white and let me go, and you'll be.
He didn't want to have to fight everybody making a comment about an interracial couple every time they walked down
I think
the
it was
street.
more than comments that he didn't want to worry about. But yeah,
well, sure, yeah.
But yeah, I loved her character, and like how heartbroken she was that he left, and like it's just every little storyline in the movie was fucking great and fleshed out. Even the Chinese couple who worked in town, like you care about them, and like they all have something, and they're all fighting for the same thing, which is just a little slice of anything in this life that is safeguarded by those in power, white people, and. And then Remick comes to town and tries to take that all away. Tries to take that last little bit of what they have for themselves. And
well, that's why I was saying. That's why I was like you said, he was preaching that he was trying to have equality and all this. But
yeah, absolutely.
There's some truth in that, just because of what we found was going to happen to them, which was they were going to be lynched essentially, and everything that they got would be taken
Yeah.
So it's like I said, it's like the lesser of two evils. Like, do you lose all your spirituality and who you are as your own person and join this cult essentially, or do you just die?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the same type of stuff we're dealing with today. It's like, do you just die and just not make money, or do you subscribe to capitalism and
the end of the movie makes you wonder.
Yeah, I mean, tragic.
Like, wait, the last time I saw my brother, that was the last day I saw my brother. Is
Don't
what
even
he
fucking
said.
remind me of this. You know?
That was,
But like, what if you're gonna show up and we lived a happy life together and it was cool, and now we know each other because we're one mind or whatever, like. Why did you have to die and kill yourself? I guess that's
the whole point.
The agency. Yeah.
That's what Marvin's saying is that like
he hasn't been happy since, even though he lived. There's no happiness. He lost all happiness, lost his brother.
Yeah, that's what Marvin was trying to say. That's why Remick is like, yeah, he's a villain, but he's also kind of not. It puts you in like this. It just puts you in a rock and a hard place. Like, what is the right choice? Obviously, both brothers made obviously one of them didn't really decide anything. He didn't have a choice in the matter, but one of the brothers decided. I can't remember who's the one that becomes the vampire, Smoke or Stack.
Stack becomes the vampire.
Okay, yeah. So Stack,
Smoke's the one that's always smoking cigarettes.
Oh right, yeah. But he can't roll them because he's got the shakes.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was so fucking heartbreaking. The scene where he's trying to roll his own cig. Oh my fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Remick is just like the movie, and not like it's just so multi-layered, and like
it is.
It deals with so many different themes that all coalesce into sort of one single theme. As you were saying, Remick basically says to the twins, like, "Yo, the dude you bought this place from, he's in the clan. He's a grandmaster. They're coming to fuck you up. Like, so you could join me and like
doomed
be a vampire, or you're gonna fucking deal with these clan people anyway."
That was the most depressing point of the movie for me.
Well,
even past all the sad scenes and stuff, just the fact that they were doomed no matter what happened that night. Was like, oh my God, this is fucked.
Because it's like we see in our modern day. It's, it's something that like, I think The Wire as a show like did so well. And it's that there are like, in politics and modern politics, there's like the talk of crime. And it's like, oh, look at the crime in Chicago or the crime here. It's like, yeah, but the problem is rooted deeper. It's not just people waking up and being like, I'm going to fucking join a gang today. It's that they have no other fucking recourse.
Exactly.
So the system is set up to in such a way where you have no other choice but to become part of the system. Either you join the fucking military and go off to die, or you fucking join a fucking gang because there's literally no other options and there's all you know in life. And like, there's no after school programs and there's no like, it's just such a fucking mess. And it's like the fucking Tupac we were talking about.
Or you do all that and then try to start a business and
and get fucked over for it.
You get fucked over anyway.
It's funny because I told you I was making that playlist, the hip hop playlist, and I put Changes on it from Tupac. And I was listening to it. I hadn't heard the song in a while, and he's got that line. I don't remember it exactly, but it's like they want to start a war on drugs. Instead of a war on poverty, they have a war on drugs so the police could bother me. And I was like, holy fuck. I was like, this motherfucker wrote this shit in the 90s, and nothing has changed since. Like, it's like, that's the whole thing. It's like, what is the war? So this is just this movie takes place in the 30s, but it just represents like almost all of American history, and just how it's we're not dealing with a race war in this country, like the media and some people in charge want you to believe. It's a class war. Okay, it's the working class versus the fucking 1%. That's it. And once you realize that, you'll all become communist.
Yeah.
Dusty just had a little fucking palpitation.
Been a class
keep
war for
voting
50
those
years.
morons into power, and they keep voting themselves more power, and we see the road we're going down. But yeah, sure, let's just give them more power.
So yeah, and then so the ending of the movie, everybody gets fucking smoked. Unfortunately, pretty much, except for Sammy and Smoke. Well, Smoke dies anyway, but Smoke is like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm gonna go out like a gangster, and he waits for these fucking clan motherfuckers to show up in the morning.
That was sick. Yeah.
And he fucking ambushes them, kills them all, gets mortally wounded, and, you know, has a vision of
Annie.
Well, he removes the protection first, and then he does all that, right?
Yes, he removes the protective necklace that she gave him. So because he chooses to die. And so what this movie and also when Annie gets bit, it's you don't really see it when it happens, but they call back to it in a flashback. When Annie gets bit, Haley Steinfeld's character Mary, she runs off into the woods and she's like, I don't want any part of this anymore, because the movie tells you that when you become a vampire, your soul is still intact. You're still who you are. You have your personality, your feelings, your thoughts, and everything. So
she screamed when he killed Annie, when he put a stake through her.
Yeah. So her love for everybody was still there.
Yeah, it was.
But she's also controlled by the vampire hive mind, controlled by Remick.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, he takes off the protective necklace, chooses to die and see his daughter again and Annie. And
it's a great scene.
It's a great scene, and then it's followed.
He's reaching out to hold his daughter, and the asshole starts talking, and he just unloads on him, reaches out again.
That was so good. Yeah, he interrupted my reunion, motherfucker.
That's followed up by Sammy basically showing back up at the church, which we saw in the beginning of the movie, with the broken guitar, scratched face from Remick, and his dad's like,
Bookend.
"See, told you the fucking devil's music would. I told you the devil would come for you." And Sammy chooses to leave and go to Chicago and become a famous blues singer who was actually played by Buddy Guy, who is a real life blues singer, which I thought was brilliant and amazing.
That was great, yeah.
And
that was a bookend for
it's a bookend.
Sammy scene, at least.
Yep, it's a bookend, and it's representative of what all these themes, these multi-layered themes that we were just talking about, are condensed into one singular thing, which is freedom. That's the narrative of the movie. Freedom from your oppressors, whether they be your parents or your family traditions or your tribal traditions or any of this stuff. Because Sammy breaks away from the chains of like, oh, my dad's he's called Preacher Boy. He's like, I don't want this life. I don't this is not for me. I want to fucking play blues. This is my passion. And so that's really what the movie's about. And then we get this like little after mid-credit scene thing where you see like he has become a famous blues player and he's older and it's in the 90s. And after a show one night, Smoke and Mary come in and they're like, hey, we've been following you for years. We're really proud of you. He's like, oh, you're pretty old. Like I could smell death on you, basically. It's coming soon. I could take it all away. I could make you live forever.
Yeah.
And Sammy's like, nah, I think I've had enough. And I'm going to cry.
This shitty place, basically. Yeah. He's like, I don't want to live in this shitty place anymore.
And then he reminisces about that night. And he's like, once a week I wake up crippled with fear over what happened. He's like, but I think before the sun went down, that was the best night of my life. And was it the same for you? Oh, God, I can't even talk about it.
Yeah.
And Smoke says, hell yeah, it was. That's the last time I saw my brother. Last time I saw the sun. And for just a few hours, we were free. And that's the whole movie right there of just like, people trying to break away from the chains of whatever those chains could be. It doesn't have to be cultural oppression. It could be literally anything. So, yeah, I just thought this was such a brilliant movie. Again, completely blew me away. I don't know if you guys found it as powerful as I did, but it's been a really long time since I've seen a movie that was this good. Again, I was very surprised. I thought it was just going to be like, oh, cool, a Ryan Coogler like vampire movie with Michael B. Jordan. That seems sick. But it was like so much more. It's like barely a vampire movie. Like it's not that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's why I said the vampire is like a tertiary plot. Like it's not even.
And everything about this movie is so finely and meticulously crafted, down to the title, Sinners. These people in this juke joint are all considered sinners because of their lifestyle or their worldview.
They're just doing normal shit.
Right. So yeah.
About how it's like finely crafted. I don't know if you noticed, but when I was rewatching this, watching one scene, when they were first buying the sawmill, the old sawmill, the guy, I think it was Stack or Smoke, one of them, he's like looking at the floor and he's like, did you guys clean this recently? And when you think about it, it's probably because like
they slaughtered another group of people in there.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. That's what it was. It was like a slaughtering mill.
And that was like, and I missed that the first time I watched the movie. So.
That's why I kind of thought that maybe they knew, like on some level.
On some level, they probably had a feeling.
Yeah.
They had to have known, because if they were from there and they left and they came back, I mean, they had that, like, it's not like the Grand Master of the clan is just going to up and buy that barn from somebody else out of the middle of nowhere while they're gone. You know what I'm saying?
Right. The other thing too is that they also, there was the implication that what's his name's gang would be coming for them eventually.
Yeah, they were on the run
Al
for the
Capone's
stealing.
gang. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I fucking every single second of this movie I loved. I don't have a single thing to say bad about it. Not a single thing I would change about it. Like you guys said earlier, the cinematography.
I wanted more.
Yeah. Cinematography.
I honestly wanted more backstory just because it was so good. It was.
Give us a Remick
like
prequel.
I wanted more of the Choctaw stuff. To see, like, because this guy, for us, if the guy is like he fell out of the fucking sky, fucking Remick. When we first see him, it's like, this guy just fall out of the sky. Like, so I wanted more of that, more of their history in Chicago, that sort of stuff. Like, it's not super important, but it would be interesting to see.
Oh yeah, no, that'd be. You give me a 7-hour fucking episode of this movie, like. Give me a season of TV, good. Like to see the different things. But yeah, no, I feel you.
Because this was all one day, not even a full day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess it kind of, because he wakes up, Preacher Boy wakes up at night, and then it goes
24 hours.
Yeah.
Movie was funny too. There's a lot of really funny moments.
Dude, Cornbread is hilarious.
Yeah, he was great.
Smoke and Stack were hilarious. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, just an all-around brilliant movie. And again, like, if, you know, the movie industry, these executives, they're like, oh, fuck, how do we be successful? It's like, just make original shit that's good. Like, you know, there's no magic to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's no cheat code. You can't just copy and hope it works out. You have to put some soul into it, which goes back to Sammy and his art.
Yep. So the final nail in the coffin from Ryan Coogler with this message is that in an unprecedented manner, he will own the rights to this movie 100% free and clear after, what was it, 25 years?
25 years.
Ooh.
So an artist owning his work, which is one of the central messages of the movie. So that's dope.
Right, yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what else to say about it, but it was way better than I ever thought it could have been. And I was completely blown away by it. It's easily one of my favorite movies I think I've ever seen. I think it might be one of the best movies ever made. I'm being honest. I don't know, like, if you guys agree with that. Not that you have to, but I think it was that fucking good. Like, it was perfect in my eyes. Everything about it. And even the soundtrack is fucking good. I've been listening to the soundtrack on Spotify. I'm listening to fucking Irish music on the like seriously, like, it's fucking good.
Yeah.
Dude, the scene where they're singing outside, Go Lassie Go or whatever, I was like enamored by it. Yeah, it's like, it was just great.
Are you talking about when the big group was dancing, or the first three when they just played like the little...
The big group was good, but I'm talking about the first when when Mary goes out to like kind of talk to them. Oh, and when
she goes out alone.
And they're just kind of playing.
Because that was like a trance-like song. Like they were, and obviously it worked because they fucking got her ass. But
they got me too.
Sirens.
Now, I ain't gonna lie. I know the vampires in this movie. You know, I know what they represent in general, but I'm not gonna lie. I'd be like a willing participant. I'd be a vampire. Like, vampirism's just too cool for me.
I love vampires. Yeah.
Well, you know what's cool too? Final thing I'll say: the end when Smoke says, "You know, that was the best day of my life because it was the last time I saw my brother. It was the last time I saw the sun." That's
what I like.
It's rare that vampire stories frame vampirism as like a curse, like a true curse. Because think about what you're losing for eternal life. Like, you think on the outside, oh man, it'd be fucking sick to be a vampire. I'd be powerful. I'd fucking live forever, blah, blah, blah. But you don't really think about the implication of that. You lose everyone you've ever loved. You fucking can't see the sun again, and you take for granted how beautiful the sun is. Like, when you stop seeing the sun, stay inside your house for a couple days. You'll miss that shit. So,
oh yeah.
Like, I think I've mentioned here on the show before how much I love the vampire Cassidy from Preacher. He's framed similarly. He's like over it. He's like, I've been a vampire for thousands of years or hundreds of years. I'm fucking sick of it. I've lost everyone I've ever loved, and I want to, like, he's looking to die. And I just love that perspective on being a vampire. Like, it's not cool. Like, even though you think it is.
Living forever,
Yeah, it's a burden. So
you get that a little bit in 30 Days of Night or 20 Days?
30 Days of Night,
Josh Hartnett movie where they're...
Yeah, and I think
the realization is it's better to just sit here and watch the sun come up than to be this fucking vampire.
Yep, and I think the Vampire Lestat from Anne Rice's novels kind of deal with that a little bit too. But excellent movie. I can't say enough good things about it. I can't wait to watch it again.
What do you think was up with? Was there anything up with? So the guitar we found out wasn't like a famous guitar. It was actually just their father's guitar.
Yep.
And it just so happened that part of it was silver because he hit Remick in the head with it, and it's like burning him, right?
Yeah.
Was there anything else with this freaking guitar, or was it cursed or something? Was the implication that it was a cursed guitar, or
no?
Because they said their dad was not a good guy. Their father was terrible to them.
Well, I took it from
you
the fact
could make some inferences, but I don't think anything was like deliberately made.
No, what I thought is that they said it was from like a famous blues player.
I think it was some famous blues player, yeah.
But I think they said that because, like, I think, like, the way I took it is they don't go too much into it, but their dad was a piece of shit.
Right.
But as often is the case, when people don't like their parents, they still love they're still your dad. It's still your mom. That's hard to detach from when it's like, oh, my dad's a fucking scumbag, but he's still my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the guitar was their way of sort of holding on to that, that it's still their dad. And so they put sort of more of a positive spin on it to make it feel better for themselves. Because you could imagine, like, they're tough guys. They're fucking soldiers. Like, how could we explain to ourselves that we still love a guy who treated us like shit? That we're holding on to this memory of him.
There's two sides to that coin, because they kept the guitar for that reason, probably. But when it was given away to somebody else, here, play this, it was too embarrassed to say, yeah, that was my piece of shit dads who fucking killed. So
that's what I mean.
Didn't want to tell that story. So just made up a story like, yeah, it's so-and-so's. We won it from him off a poker game in Chicago.
Exactly that. Yep, exactly. But yeah, I don't know. Great movie. Blew me away.
Mm-hmm.
It's got an 8. Is there anything else you guys want to say about it before we talk about the ratings?
I don't think so.
I think we covered everything, but
yeah.
Did C like it, Marvin?
Oh, she loved it. Yeah, it was like a historic day that we finally got to see it.
And did your lady like it, Dusty?
Yeah, she did.
Nice. Yeah. Can't wait to watch it again. It's doing gangbusters on the internet. It's certified fresh both on the critic score on Rotten Tomatoes and the audience score with a 97% and a 96%. On IMDb, it's got an 8.1, which is very, very high. Marvin's not here.
I'm listening.
No, I know you got to deal with the cat. But
yeah, I was letting him out.
I don't agree with this rating. This is a perfect 10 for me, baby. 10 out of 10. How about you, Marvin?
Easy 10, yeah.
Okay. Does it get your perfect, Dusty?
No, it gets an 8.5 from me. Doesn't get a perfect.
Can't even get the extra 0.5%. Damn.
No.
Right.
No, there's a couple things that I just story-wise would have been more interesting to me. But yeah. Great movie. Can't wait to see it again. Highly recommend it.
Wait.
All that good stuff. But sure.
Couple
complaints.
One of the few times, folks, where a movie not only lives up to the hype, but exceeds the hype.
Mm-hmm.
So give us more of this shit, Hollywood. If you're struggling, just fucking make a good movie. That's it. Ain't no secret to it. And, again, I started off by saying this could be the return of the blockbuster because, like, here you were saying how much money this made. This original non-legacy IP franchise fucking thing blowing the fucking doors off of movie theaters. So I don't want to hear this narrative anymore that, like, the theater is dead, the movie experience is dead, the industry's dead. It's certainly in bizarre shape, but it could easily be revived with more shit like this. So yeah, that's our thoughts on Sinners, folks. Hopefully you saw this movie. Would love to know what you thought about it. Leave a comment down below if you have seen it and let us know what you think of it. If you haven't seen it, run out to the theaters and see it. It's definitely worth a trip to the theater. I wish I got to see it as you do, Marvin, on a bigger screen, on a better screen.
Yeah.
I might try to see it in IMAX again before it actually does its theater time, because I think that would be a worth it experience. But
I think so, yeah.
But yeah, if you haven't seen it, folks, for sure, go check it out. If you have not done so already, consider subscribing. If you like the content, you can hit the notification bell to know when new videos go live. But we generally do this once a week, a new podcast episode. I guess next week is going to be a little up in the air.
Young Guns, Mickey 17, or the other one,
Fountain of Youth.
Fountain of Youth.
Oh shit! Too many good ones.
Oh shit! Yeah, so I'll take a look and we'll figure it out. But we actually post our schedule for the month on Discord. So if you want to watch along with us and you want to know what we're watching, you could click on our link and go to our website. We have a link to our Discord. Feel free to join and check that out.
Join up.
Yeah, leave a like and do all that cool shit that people ask you to do all the time. And otherwise, thanks for hanging out with us. We'll catch you next week.
See ya.
Pasta.